morning. Well, today is the day I'm going to start decorating the main living room in our home. I'm going to decorate this tree behind me, plus the two windows, which I do a mirror design on each side. And then we've got a beautiful new bookcase that we've had installed, which I'm really looking forward to styling, as well as our dining table. Now, I'm going to use some pretty traditional elements in this area, including some nutcrackers, and I've got some beautiful nutcracker drums, some florals in the burgundies, and also the forest green. And I'm also going to use blue because, as you'll see, I've got a fair bit of blue that's built into this area, so that complements it. So join me as I share with you how I'm going to decorate our main living room in our home this year. I always like to start at the top of my tree and create a beautiful tree topper because I find that then inspires me for the rest of the tree. And I do like my tree topper to have sprays in it and a bow, and sometimes I'll put a star or an angel. This year I'm going to use a couple of different ribbon combinations and make a really beautiful bow. So now I'm going to go in with these gold sprays just to start bringing a bit more glam to the top of the tree. I'm going to use these three ribbons, blue velvet, burgundy, and this ivory one. And all three of them are actually double-sided, so it doesn't really matter which side is showing, they're going to look beautiful. I'll make one big bow and then I'm going to bring the ribbon throughout the tree. I've made 2 loops in the blue, 2 loops in the burgundy, and then I've made 3 loops in the ivory. And then I'll pull it all together with a cable tie and put a piece of floral wire at the back, and that's what I'll use to pop onto the tree. So now I'm going to repeat that bow on each side of the tree just to fill it in. I don't need one at the back because you won't be able to see it, but I definitely want one on each side. I want the florals all shaped. I'm going to start with this green one. I use that pick nearly every year because I just find it's got the perfect combination with the burgundy and the red together. Sometimes that's a hard balance to get, but they just work really well together on that spray. And that then allows me to start bringing in some burgundy and also put some red in it at the same time. So I'm now going to add my big florals. These ones are blue. I've got the stunning midnight blue, it's called. It's a really deep velvet. And it's got these gorgeous sort of baubles in the middle. Every petal is shaped so you can really open them up. And we've also got it in burgundy. I think we've got ivory and dusty pink as well. These ones I always put down the bottom of the tree because they really fill up a big space. With the tree going sort of wider at the bottom, it's hard to make the bottom of the tree look full, but these flowers do the trick. So I'm going to start putting in my focal ornaments. I've got 6 nutcrackers, 3 different colours, the blue, the green and the red. And then I've got these gorgeous drums and I'm going to put these, I've got these in 2 different sizes and I'm going to put those through the tree and just make sure that I get a good covering of them. So to help me get the placement right, I'm just going to nestle them in first, but then I will use the floral wire that I've just put around the waist of each of the nutcrackers, and I'll put some through the rope of the drums and put that into place. But if I put them in position first, make sure I'm happy with them, then I'll wire them in. And then I've got 6 of these beautiful red glittery onion balls that I'm going to put in now. I'm now going to start putting in the other flowers that I've got. And I'll mainly put sort of the mid-sized ones in the middle and then the small ones up the top. Most of my florals are stems, but I do use some of the clip ones as well, and they're particularly good around the top of the tree. So I'll pop a few of these lovely blue ones in at the top third or so. Now for the bauble clusters. So I'm not sure if you've seen this before, but this is where you create a little cluster of baubles. These are all shatterproof, and I create a pattern using the colours, my dominant colours, which in this case are red, sort of a deep red, blue and gold. And I'll put them on sort of the tips of the branches so that they'll really stand out. I've got some other baubles that are my more decorative. A few of them are glass, and I'll put those sort of as specialty pieces in groupings around the tree. So I've stood back and had a look at the tree, and I really think that it needs a bit of the velvet burgundy ribbon through it, just to give it a little bit more luxe feel. I've got lots of different shapes with the flowers and the picks and the baubles already, but I think it just needs that lovely sort of elegance of the velvet ribbon running through it. So I'm just going to add that, and then I'm going to add some more of my specialty ornaments, and I think we're almost there. Now, whilst I am really loving the way the tree is coming together, as I stand back and look at it, I can see this really dark patch right there in the middle of the tree. And what it is the beautiful midnight blue flower. When you get up to it, it looks fantastic. But when you're standing a bit further back, it's too dark, I think, for the center of the tree. So I'm actually going to move the blue one across to the burgundy, and then I'll change the order because I went blue, burgundy, blue, burgundy, blue, burgundy. So I'm going to change the order of them. So I've got a burgundy one in the middle, and I think that will solve my problem. The value of standing back and having a look. Well, I'm pretty happy with the way the trees come together. But I'm going to step back for a while now, and I'm going to do the garlands that I put on the windows on each side of the tree. And then if I see that there's anything on the tree that I want to change or add, I'll do it then. But for now, it's garland time. Now this year I want to put the garland up a little bit differently. Normally I have it sort of flat across the window, but this year I want to have quite a distinct swoop in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a nail in the middle, and then I'll put two on each end. I won't put one in this section here, and that way I'll get a bit of a swoop and go down. Now this particular garland is actually two garlands that I left together when I put them away last year. I didn't separate them, and I've left the lights in them as well. These are battery operated lights. Now what I do is I just fold it in half, and that is the point at which I'm going to put on my middle nail. Now with the garland in place, it's time to decorate it. I love these finials on the ends. So I do this pretty much every year. And I've put those two options up. I think I'm leaning more towards the gold, just because when I stand back and look at the tree, these finer sort of the ones in the blue and the burgundy and the gold, they kind of just disappear a bit. Whereas these ones over here, they're a bit more substantial, and I think just the gold is enough, and I've got quite a few of those. And then I've got some burgundy ribbon, and I've got a little bit of blue sequin ribbon that I had left over, some gold ribbon. I've got a burgundy leaf pick that I'll put through it, and I'll probably make one big bow for the centre there. So let's see how all that goes. So now I'm going to put in these burgundy leaf sprays. I've had these for years. They've been used in my tree, table centerpieces. I think I've used them on lantern swags, and this year they're going to go in the garland. I've got 8 of them, so I'll use 2 going in each direction with the leaves facing out that way. and then I'm going to put a big bow in the middle. So I was going to put a bow in the middle of my garland, but then I found these swags that I'd made last year. I normally do undo any of the floral arrangements that I've made, but I must have really liked these ones, so I left it together. That, I believe, went around the side of a mirror, and this was a lantern swag. But I thought it would be a great example of how I will often repurpose the same elements and put them in a different sort of display this year. So I'm going to pull this one apart. It's all just pipe cleaners and cable ties. I'd actually started to pull it apart, but then I thought I wanted to just show you what it looks like now, and by just reshaping it, putting in a few other pieces of greenery, I'm going to be able to make a matching one like this one, and they'll both go in the center of the garland. And I think that will be perfect. So there she is. I'm pretty happy with the way the swags look in the garland. I've secured it in 3 different spots, so it really looks like it's part of the garland. Now I think what I will do is pop a couple of bows on each end, and then I'll stand back and have a look and see if I think she needs anything else. Well, I thought I was done with the 4 bows, but when I stood back, I really felt that the garland looked a bit dark and I wanted to add some brightness to it. So I had in my stash some of this, it's kind of an organza, but it's crinkled as well, and it's got silver and gold in it. So it will be a perfect way to kind of finish off the garland, adding that little bit of brightness, a little bit of texture, but it won't be overpowering. So I'm just going to add a little bit of that through the garland, and then that's it. So I'm going to start styling these shelves here. I have never styled them before, so it's definitely going to be a bit of trial and error. Now I'm going to get stuck into putting some elements in that will coordinate with the tree and also sort of start leaning into the dining area and what will become the kitchen. And then I think I'm just going to leave these shelves and wait and see how the rest of the decor sort of shapes up in this area and also in the dining area. Don't be surprised if when you come back for my full home tour, there are a few changes in this space. So for our dining room table, right now, I'm not going to set it ready for eating at. It's just going to be a beautiful tablescape, centerpiece mainly, and it will coordinate with the tree that's in the background. So our home is very open plan. So I like to make sure that all of those rooms have a bit of a flow. So this one here is going to have a blue table runner down, and then I'm going to put one of my favorite pieces of decor, which is a mirror tray. Last year I did a boho glam decorate with me for our master bedroom, and I used a mirror. I actually got mine from Kmart, so any inexpensive shop that sells home decor or a hardware shop will have those long mirrors, and to that I just added some little doorknobs underneath it, spray painted it, and it makes a really lovely inexpensive tray mirror. So if you'd like to do something like that, check out that video. But for now, let's get on and decorate this table. So just 2 little tips for tree skirts. One is consider getting a piece of this sort of fibre fill to go underneath it to give it just that extra little bit of bounce. Of course, you could use a blanket or towels, but I just found I've just got 1 piece cut for each of my tree skirts, and that just gives it a bit of bounce. Very inexpensive and easy to store. And the other thing I would say is, depending on your tree skirt, consider giving it an iron when you get it out of storage, and particularly focus on that very edge of it, so that it's got a really nice crisp edge. If they're the very fluffy ones, you don't need to worry so much about it. But this velvet one, it looks so much better if I've got it really nice and sharp on the edge. So as I'm putting the finishing touches in our living room now, I wanted to quickly share with you where you could find this beautiful print that I'm going to put up on our wall. You can go to the inspiration gallery on our website and go into the traditional Christmas, and there you will see this new collection, which is Harlequin Christmas Holiday. And if you click on that button here, free printable, and you will get emailed the poster in A3, A4 or A2, and you can actually also get the wall poster, which is 50 by 70, and you can get that printed at your local printing shop. So a really easy way to get a beautiful piece of Christmas art on your wall, well, for free if you can print it at home, or otherwise you'll just pay for some printing. Well, there she is, my beautiful traditional burgundy and navy living area. Oh, well, it's just so nice to sit back and relax and enjoy this beautiful space. I poured myself a glass of wine in, of course, a matching navy blue tumbler, and I can just really take it all in. So I hope you've got a few ideas and a bit of inspiration with what I've been able to share with you today. I know that I get a lot of inspiration from the YouTube channels that I follow. Now, I will be sharing how I decorate the other rooms in our home over the coming weeks, so make sure that you subscribe, and of course check the description below for the links to the free download and other articles that you might find helpful. I'm going to pop some craft articles in there that we have on our blog. And I hope that you have a wonderful time creating, decorating and celebrating this wonderful time of the year. Cheers.